Okay guys, so today we're going to cover the Ned rig. We're going to explain how to rig it, what it's good for. We're also going to show you some other rigging methods that you can use on the other Z-Man plastics like the TRD, the hogs, the finesse shads, etc. But something's wrong. There we go. Okay, so what the Ned rig is combining a stand-up jig head with a buoyant worm plastic. So we're going to go over into my little terminal tackle box. So there we go, we've got one of the VMCs. These are a lot cheaper than the Z-Man TRD heads, and we'll take a big TRD because I haven't got any of the small ones. So all you want to do is thread that round onto the shank of this hook like so, bring it out about there, and these have that annoying little bait keep on there, which is good for some plastics, but for Z-Mans it can be a pain in the ass because it means you really have to pinch them on like I'm doing now. And there you go, that's that one rigged. And that is ready to fish. So that is the Ned rig essentially. It's the big TRD, obviously it's the 4-inch size instead of the normal 2.75, which would be about there. But that is the Ned rig, plain and simple. Just for reference, this jig head is a size 2.7 gram, size 2 hook. So the Ned is a great fish catching rig. You can fish it anywhere you like really. I've had most of my success just dragging that rod tip up just like that really slow and giving it a twitch every now and then, and on the drag they really seem to inhale it. But because it's not a weedless setup, you would want to be careful when you're fishing close to structure and things like that with the Ned, because you can get hung up a lot. So if you are fishing near the structure, you're going to want a weedless setup. Here you can see some weedless setups. Another rig I really like using is the Texas rig. What that is a weedless hook, a cone weight, and optionally you can use a bobber stop that they use for float fishing. And all you want to do to start that off is rig the TRD weedless. Again, we're using the big 4-inch TRD. So you want to go in like that, roll that around the bend of the hook like so, and then you want to bring this out roughly here, like so, and then embed that point like that. So that is now weedless. And then when you've got your line, you would thread this onto your line, but obviously first, if you're going to use a bobber, you want to put that on, which is where you thread your line through the little split in the eye on the end of the line of bobbers. Bring one bobber onto your line, and then you take your little weight, and with your weight you put that onto your line like so, and then you tie your lure on, and then it all kind of beds up neatly together like that, making a really streamlined rig. And you'd have your bobber stop say here. You could peg it all the way up to here because your bobber stop will slide on your line, or you can have it give it a little bit of a free running presentation and put your bobber stop there. But that essentially is the Texas rig. Another way I like to rig the TRD is on an offset jig head. It's similar to a normal jig head, except the hook on it is weedless instead of a round bent like that one. And all you got to do with this is thread it onto the hook just like you would with the Texas rig. So you go in through the head, bring it out about 1/2 centimeter like so into the plastic. You want to roll that all the way around your hook until that nuzzles up nicely to that lead head like so. Stretch it so it comes out properly. There we go. And then you want to roughly measure up on the body of that plastic where your hook's going to come out. So I'm going to pick about there, and if we just gently pull that through like so, it's came through that plastic like that, and then it's just a case of burying that point into the plastic to make it completely weedless like so. And there we go, that is ready to fish. So there you go, on the left you've got the stand-up jig head, and you can do that with so many different Z-Man plastics. There's an example using the Z-Man trick shots, or with the offset jig head. Here's another one using the punch craws. So there's so many options in fishing. You can mix and match all of your tackle components and find out whatever rig works best for you. On some days they might really like the craw, but it's not weedy, so why would you use a weedless jig head? So you might go over to the standard jig head. On other days they'll be liking the TRD, but they're deep in the structure and you can't fish a standard jig head there, so you want the weedless presentation. So it's good to carry a mix of tackle with you at all occasions, because you never know what you're going to face and what the fish are going to be biting on the day. And my tip would just be to carry a wide selection in this box. It doesn't look like I've got a lot in there, but for me there's so much. I've got mojo weights, cone weights, drop shot weights, I've got bobber stops, I've got a bit of everything in there, nail weights as well for my Nico rigs, I've got jig heads, I've got swim bait hooks, I've got offset hooks, I've got all sorts, micro jig heads, everything. And while that's not a big box, as you see here, these are small boxes, but I can carry everything I need to go perch fishing for the day, and I know that I've got all options covered. So there you have it, that's a few rigging options for the TRD and other Z-Man plastics, and really with them two options you can go out and have a good day's fishing. You've got a standard rig that you can use in open water, and if you do want to cast to that structure and in amongst the trees and snags, you've got the weedless setups too. So I think the lesson to be learnt there is to carry as many options as possible and widen your opportunity when you're fishing. I hope this video helped you. If it did, please give us a like, it means a lot to us and it lets us know what you guys like seeing. If there's anything that you would like seeing, drop us a comment and we'll reply to it and we'll acknowledge that and we'll make that happen. So thanks for watching, see you on the water.